Okay, this section we are talking about career development. And the way this section is kind of organized, we first look at it from you, the employer's perspective, and how you would go about creating job positions, interviewing, hiring, training, that whole process. And then we're going to look at it from you, the interviewee perspective. So then we're going to put you on the other end, and you're the one that's doing the job searching, and we'll talk about interview tips, resumes, job portfolios, and all that good stuff. So lots of good information, stuff that you should start to be preparing as you go and start your job search for even a part-time job. It's good to have this stuff in mind so that you know what's professional and you know how to go into an interview and put yourself ahead of the rest. So this is Marketing 2, Section 4, and Career Development. So in lesson 1, we talked about hiring employees. So let's first go through the hiring process. The first step is to prepare for employees. So this means get your paperwork in line. You have to file for certain taxations as a company that's going to have employees. You'll want to start your employee search process. You know, what type of employees do you need? How many employees do you need? The hiring portion where, so search would also include like doing the interviews and filing through resumes and picking out who you want to interview. Then there's the actual hiring of the employee and getting all that paperwork done, and then training and orientation. So training skills that they need to know for on the job and for your particular business. So now we're going to so all those steps, we're going to break them down step by step. So when we're preparing for employees, first of all, you think, okay, I need help. Who do I hire? And the first consideration you might want to make is outsourcing. So this would be hiring subcontractors with specialized tasks that does not require much supervision. So in other words, maybe you just need some technical help. You don't need someone to come in the office every day to help with stuff. Maybe you have a website and someone can you can kind of hire a company or someone, you can subcontract someone to develop your website for you. Or do you need more employees actually on staff in the building? Again, what you'll need for actually have employees, you have to be registered, and there are certain license and permits that you'll need as a business. You might need special record keeping so that you see the inflow and outflow of your salaries that are being paid. You have to come up with some sort of benefit program. Are you going to offer health insurance? Is that going to include dental and vision and all those? Are you going to have life insurance? What other benefits are these employees going to be awarded for working for your company? Do you have personnel policies in place? Those would be, your specific expectations that you expect your employees to have. It's good to have all that stuff written out and so that everyone's on the same page. And it's really important you should always have your employees sign this personnel policy. Just again, so they know what's expected of them and they agree to it. Do you have enough workspace? Do you need more equipment, depending on how many employees you're going to need again? And then do you have a plan in place for orientation and training these new employees? Okay, continuing with preparing for employees. So once you have everything kind of laid out and you know who and how many and what you need to hire, now you should put together this job description that has some set really clear expectations of what you are expecting from a potential employee. So a lot of times a job description includes the job title, maybe the name of the company, description of the job, what types of tasks this employee will be expected to perform, what experience you want to see them have ahead of time, because maybe you want someone that you don't have to train as much, or other qualifications that you'd like to see them have. Maybe there are certain skills or characteristics you're looking for. All that information should go into your job description. And then you should also have a salary range in mind. You might or might not choose to put this in the job description. I don't see that very often because usually that's something that's kind of negotiable. So, but as an employer, you should have something in mind. Are you going to pay these employees hourly? Are they going to have a yearly salary? Is there going to be a bonus offered? Those are what you need to have all that figured out as part of this preparing for employees process. Okay, so then you start in the search for employees. So basically you advertise your job. You can either go through family and friends, kind of networking that way, or networking online. Networking, you're going to hear that word a lot in any business class because it's just so vital and so important. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. Are you going to post the job on the internet? Are you going to post it in newspapers? What's the best way to reach the type of employer you're looking for? So in newspapers, often you'll see in the classified ads, help wanted or job opening or something like that. You could also use a headhunter. A headhunter is a type of like a person or a company that helps match job seekers with job openings. So I can think of like Associated Staffing. So people that are looking for jobs go in there, and also people that are looking to hire go in there, and then companies like that tend to match potential employees with businesses based on their information. Okay, so once you've done your research about what type of employee you need, you've advertised the job, now you're looking at the hiring process. So you're going to review candidates, you're going to look at their resumes, and a resume is something that describes a worker's employment, experience, strengths, skills, education, and their qualifications. You're going to read through their cover letters. This is a letter from the applicant. Usually it just gives additional information from the resume or just kind of highlights some specific things in the resume that would be beneficial for them and the job. You're going to check the references. References are people that are willing to vouch for the candidate. So this is really an important step because you want to make sure that this person has, other people that will speak well of them, especially in like maybe a past job. And then so once you've gone through the resumes, the cover letters, the references, you're going to select a few candidates then that you'll want to interview. The top candidates that you see based on the resumes, you'll interview several, and then you'll actually hire somebody. So that's kind of the hiring process, and then the final step is that training and orientation. So this is where, like your first day of work, you get through all the paperwork, you introduce the new employee to the company and to the job, you show them around, you get their before tax forms figured out. A lot of new jobs require maybe a drug test or a background check. I would hope you do a background check before you actually did the hiring, so you might want to think about that. Give employee copy of personnel policy. So again, that's where you want them to make sure they are aware of everything that's expected of them, have them sign it, and actually do some on-the-job training. Maybe there's a specific computer program that the company uses that employee will need to learn, or a lot of times that training has to do with certain equipment that a company uses. So when we get into lesson 2, we talk more about career goals. So this is more individualized for you, the job seeker. So when you're looking for a job, a lot of times, again, that word networking. So it's all, you might have heard the term, it's all about who you know. Okay? That means you want to know a lot of people just so you can get your name out there, you can, get words passed on about you, information, and keep people talking. That way, if someone knows of a job, they could say, oh, I have this friend that's in marketing that's looking for a job, and yada, yada. So that's how networking works. There are lots of online networking systems. You might have heard of LinkedIn. We're actually going to talk about that at our Class Connect. And then family and friends, again, is a huge one to pass on the word for people that you know. Then there's lots of job websites. You've probably heard of some of these, monster.com, careerbuilder.com. Those are the types of websites where you upload your resume, and you can also search jobs, and you can submit your resume to certain jobs, and it'll kind of suggest jobs that match your resume and criteria. So those are just really good tools for you to search jobs. More and more companies are going online these days because it's so much easier. They don't have to pay for the newspaper ad, but this still costs them, but it's just easier. They're reaching a lot more eyes this way. Okay, then you need to really interpret the job description. So is this, when you find a job and you're interested, is this a full-time or a part-time position? So in case you didn't know, full-time usually means that it's at 40 hours a week job. They expect you to be there at least 40 hours a week. Something part-time is usually less than 40 hours a week. Is this contract work? Is there a specific amount of time for a specific task? Again, that would be like maybe a web designer or a lawyer. Maybe they, it's not. It's just contract work. You're not like a hired-on employee. Telecommuting would be like maybe it's something where you can work from home. You don't have to drive into the office every day, which is kind of nice. And then what benefits are there? Are they offering insurance plans, retirement plans? What other features make this job beneficial for you to work there? And also look to see, is it salary versus hourly? So salary means that you get the same amount of money every paycheck and you get paid a lump sum every year. That could sometimes include bonuses and different things, but I guess I don't explain hourly, but hourly is kind of self-explanatory. You get paid a certain amount per hour. So that can definitely vary depending on the amount of hours you're putting in a week. Then when you're thinking about job searching, you definitely should have some experience under your belt. This will definitely get you ahead of the game when you're job hunting. Internship is a great way to get experience. This is a temporary job that helps you gain work experience. So sometimes those are paid. A lot of times you can do these in high school or college. And, you're pretty low on the totem pole as an intern at an office, but it's great experience and just kind of getting your foot in the door and start with your networking. Job shadowing is a great way. This is where you kind of just go to a place of work of some business that you might be interested in working at, and you basically just follow that person around and see what it is they actually do during the day. And it's great for students because it allows them to see the skills that they're learning in the classroom. They can see how they translate over into the workplace. Volunteering is another great way to get experience. Education, the types of classes you're taking, that's something employers look at. Professional development, this would be like certain seminars. Maybe you're going to meetings or seminars that can give you extra knowledge, skills, experience, and help you to advance in that sort of career path. And you definitely want to have a vision. Where do you see yourself going? What type of career, what do you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? It doesn't have to be the rest of your life, but for a good chunk of years. And then how are you going to get there? You need to set some short-term goals, intermediate goals, long-term goals. Having these goals in place always keeps you working towards something, keeps you on track. And the more specific your goals are, the better chance you have of actually reaching them. Okay, lesson 3 I'm actually going to start in the next video because I only get 15 minutes per video. So this is lesson 1 and 2 of section 4, and I'll start lesson 3 of section 4 in the next video.